What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Munkidori in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. And if you enjoy these videos, if they help you out, or if you're new, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. So Munkidori is a new Pokemon from the Teal Mars DLC, and it is a pretty nice special attacker. Firstly, let's have a look at its stats. We've got a nice special attack and nice speed stat, and its health is actually not all that bad either, and a reasonable special defensive stat. Now, this is a poison and psychic type Pokemon, and it has got two abilities. It's got Toxic Chain, which all of the three loyalties get, and it also has a hidden ability as Frisk. So I see Frisk probably being a little bit more handy because Toxic Chain only has a 30% chance of badly poisoning, so it's more of a luck-based move, you could say. So a couple of sets here we got. So firstly, we got a Nasty Plot Sweeper. I see this is definitely a very nice mid to late game sweeper. So we've got max special attack and max speed. Timid Nature is the EVs. I feel like an item like Heavy Duty Boots is going to work very, very well in this, because that'll stop it, any entry hazards on the other side of the field are going to be slowing it down. So I think that's quite a good item to run. Another one you could have is maybe, let's say, Life Orb. That wouldn't be too bad either for a little bit of extra damage output. That could definitely work too. And possibly Llama if you don't want to get like paralyzed or anything like that. But I'd be sticking with Heavy Duty Boots, I would say. Another one you could possibly run on it too could be Air Balloon. This could be useful with your poison typing. That's another one that I would suggest there too. Now, the moves I've got in there, we've got obviously Nasty Plot, which is a great special attacking boosting move. It gets Sludge Wave, which is a very powerful poison type special poison move. Now, you can either opt for Psychic or Psyshock, depending on what you want on your team. So Psychic being a little bit more powerful than Psyshock. So we've got 90 base power versus 80. The reason I run this on here is because, say if you come across a special defensive wall, at least with Psyshock, you can hit them based on the defense, not the special defense. So that way you sort of become a mix sweeper in a sense. Now, as for Terra, I'm going to do Terra Blast Fighting. This is going to be a way to hit like other steel type Pokemon, because obviously with Psychic and Poison type, you're going to struggle to hit any steel type Pokemon at all. So there are a couple of things you can do here as well. You could go Terra Fire. That's another one you could try. Terra Fire, so you could hit opposing. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad actually against steel type Pokemon. So Terra Fire. Another one you might be able to run, something like ground Pokemon. You could go Terra Flying. That could be another one. But the problem about that is you wouldn't be able to do Terra Blast Flying. You could have Terra Flying, but you'd have to have something to hit a Steel-type Pokemon, otherwise you're going to be walled. So another one you could have is Terra Ground. That would allow you to hit Steel-type Pokemon as well. And you wouldn't obviously be weak to your other types and things like that. So that's a couple of Terras you can run on it. Tell me what you've got for Terras and what you're thinking with Munkidori and movesets. I always like to hear your feedback, what you're thinking of running with Munkidori. This set, I'd say, is more geared around singles. I've got some doubles and sort of sets coming up here too. So I like to do lots of different things. So that's a sort of a build you could run there for singles, whatever rule set you are trying to do there. Another move that actually gets is like Shadow Ball. That's another one, but I don't know. I like having I really feel like this Pokemon is going to draw out Steel-type Pokemon, so you need something to hit them with, whether it be, Terra Fire or Terra Ground or Terra Fighting, something like that, depending on what your team is. Now, the next moveset I feel that could be good on it would be Choice Specs. So we got a Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. Both of them could work on here and actually get some good moves there too. So I've got Sludge Wave, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and I've got Terra Blast Fire. Another interesting move you can give this as well that it gets is Trick. So this is quite good for any sort of like stall support Pokemon that come in. You can go Choice Specs Trick and shut them down that way, and then you're still free to go for Psychic and Sludge Wave and Shadow Ball. So that's another way you could possibly run this. The EV spread would be the same. It's max special attack and max speed, Timid Nature. I feel like you really do need that speed. And you could also run this with Scarf too, because that would give it you know, that would give us some extra speed, which is nice. I mean, 106 speed is good, but it's not like... It could still be outsped by some quite fast Pokemon there. And this Pokemon doesn't have a lot of bulk on the defensive side, so you want to make sure you're probably going first a lot of the time too. Now, another move this can actually get, going back to this nasty plot one, another interesting move it gets is, let's bring this up here, is Parting Shot. So you can have Parting Shot on there too, but obviously foregoing nasty plot is probably not as good. So, but it's just another interesting move that it does get on there too. If we're just looking at a single or just a speedy special attacker. If you're running this in doubles, I probably wouldn't do Nasty Plot. I would probably do Parting Shot. So if you really wanted as like a special attack in doubles, I'd have Parting Shot. That way you can take advantage of dropping the stats, and then you could still hit for pretty, some powerful moves there. So that's something you could do if you wanted to run that for doubles. So we've gone over Spec Scarf, we've gone over Nasty Plot set. This is a little bit of a gimmick, but I think it's kind of cool. So firstly, I would suggest running this with another Pokemon that gets Toxic Spikes, so like Toxapex or something like that, which would be handy. So once you got the Toxic Spikes on the field, which is going to be quite handy, you can then go for Venoshock, which is obviously a very, very powerful Poison-type move. So it's going to be doubling the base power if the opponent is poisoned. Now, another move that works great with that is also Hex, because that's going to be double on a status ailment. Say, for example, the opponent is poisoned, but, they're not going to be hit very effective by Venoshock, but, Hex is still going to be double base power. So we've got Terra-type Ghost, and we've also got Hex too. And to wrap it up, we've got Focus Blast there. Focus Blast can be run on the Nasty Plot one. I just don't like the accuracy of it. That's why I went for Terra Fighting and, stuff like that. But yeah, that can absolutely be used on there, and Psychic as well. I've popped on Life Orb for extra damage, and same sort of EV spread as the last couple there. I actually ran Toxic Chain in this because let's say, for example, your Toxic Spikes get removed or something like that, or you haven't yet set them up. Toxic Chain might be able to help you out there, and it's quite an interesting ability. It just has a 30% chance to poison badly, and that will double your base power for that and that. But that's why I suggested having a Pokemon like Toxapex or any Toxic Spikes setter alongside that for that to be successful. But that's more of a gimmicky set relying on Toxic Spikes compared to these set here, which is like, this is the straight up base power and, sort of sweeping sets already, which are already very, very powerful. All right, let's have a look at some doubles and VGC style set here. So I've sort of geared this one around doubles. Now, it's not a physical attacker, but it does get Fake Out, which is very, very good in doubles. So you could have, I'm suggesting Fake Out and 3 special attacking moves. So we've got Fake Out, which is great for flinching. Now we've got Sludge Wave, which is very, very nice there. You could even partner your Pokemon up, respectively there if you wanted like a Steel partner or anything like that. And then you've got like Psychic and Terra Blast Ground. I gave it for that because I thought that works pretty nicely for the coverage reasons. I've given it Frisk, and I also gave it Covert Cloak too. Say you don't want to get outsped by any other Pokemon or any like double matchup. So say if you both have Munkidori, so like that would be sort of like countering that, or any sort of like secondary effects you're going to ignore. This Pokemon isn't probably going to enjoy being flinched because it's not going to last too long. Now, another one you could run on there, you could have Terra Flying on there if you really wanted to, but you'd have to adjust Terra Blast so you could hit those pesky Steel type Pokemon. So that's another way you can run this. There's a couple of ways it can be run. It sort of depends on your moveset. So let me suggest something else if you don't want to run Terra Blast Ground. But I don't think actually it's all that bad. Or if you want to put Focus Blast on there, you could do something like this too. Say you wanted to be like, well, I want to still have Terra Flying, but I want to have a different move. So you could have like Terra Flying and then Focus Blast. So that way you can land moves against Steel type Pokemon. But I don't know. I quite like Terra Ground. I think it's okay, and it gives pretty good coverage too. So whatever is going on in your team, and like whatever Pokemon in your team, that would probably be what you want to be using that for. Now, before we get to some meme sort of sets, let's explain a couple of counters and teammates for it. So I think not a bad teammate for Munkidori would be Corviknight. It's not a bad Pokemon there to swap into any of those kind of counters there. So you've got like you've got a weakness to ground for sure, and you've also got like ghost and dark and stuff like that. So you could have like Corviknight would be not a bad swap in there. So you could swap into any of those ground moves, and it's quite bulky, and you could, that could just be a good partner for it too. You might be able to get the Corviknight to set up a Tailwind, and then you'd be able to like sweep through or try and sweep through the rest of the team. So that could make quite a good matchup there. Plus, if you had something like Rocky Helmet on let's say you had Rocky Helmet on your Corviknight, like some of those incoming physical moves could be, some extra damage. And, if you had U-turn on it as well, that could also work with momentum with your team, with your Munkidori too. So that could be a nice partner there for sure. Or any sort of other of like flying Pokemon. Let me see if I got any other examples. I think Corviknight's pretty good as an example. If you've got any other examples, let me know about it in the comment section for sure. What do we got here? So we've got I've said Corviknight already, and we could have Mandibuzz. Okay, so we got Mandibuzz is now back in the game. Oh, Mandibuzz is even better. I like that. So Mandibuzz resists Ghost. It's going to resist Ground. Too. So that's actually pretty good. And also resist Psychic too, which is still, neutral against that. So that's quite good. I'd go with Mandibuzz as a partner. Any sort of bulky Mandibuzz set's going to work there. Or just in general. That's actually not a bad partner. The weakness of this Pokemon that I see it, in general, I'm going to be quite general with this because there's quite a few Pokemon that could fall into this mold. So this Pokemon's quite fast. It's a good special attacker. It's nice, right? It does fall down to like priority moves for sure. So any priority moves, and it can be like, say if it's worn down by any entry hazards, any status moves, like if it's paralyzed. Once it's paralyzed, it's probably gonna faint to a physical move. So it's weak to stuff like Shadow Stare. It can be hit by virtually all of the priority moves, and they are going to do a fair bit of damage to it too. So I'll just wear it down with priority moves and try and status it with any other Pokemon that have those moves, which is quite a huge amount of Pokemon there. So basically, and Steel types too. I gotta say Steel types because that pretty much gets rid of all of its stab. I'm thinking here. I mean, this is why I have to say Goldengo. This is why I would run Terra Blast Ground on my Munkidori for that. Otherwise, you're going to get clapped every day of the week. So if you're worried about Goldengo, it's a very good Pokemon. It comes up a lot. People use it a lot. You either need Terra Blast Ground or Fire. Otherwise, you're going to get walled really, really hard. Just in general. But I'd say that Goldengo would be, pretty decent. Pretty decent swap in there, depending on what Terra you have and things like that. Let's bring some more Steel-type Pokemon up. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. So that would be a problem. Heatran would be a very, very big, very big problem. So you'd have to have Terra Blast Ground versus Heatran. So yeah, you'd have to, you absolutely would need Terra Blast Ground. If you want to do any damage there. But Steel-type Pokemon definitely can counter it. It sort of depends on what Terra you're going to run and if you're planning to use Terra on Munkidori. So I hope that all makes sense and stuff like that, if you get what I'm saying there. I'd base your Terra type on what you've got on the rest of your team too. So if you've got a lot of things that can take out Steel-type Pokemon, maybe you don't have to rely on a Terra so much for it, but if you really need something to take out Steel types, I would go for that, or just at least some sort of coverage move that can hit them. Okay, let's have a look at some trash movesets. So this is absolutely not a physical attacker, but we like to use all different sort of sets here, and I like to explore all different avenues of a Pokemon's moveset. So this is going to be a physical set. So we got a Fake Out, Gunk Shot, U-Turn, and Lash Out. So we got this, in case we come across any physical, or Intimidate Pokemon, we've got our friend Adrenaline Orb here, and we've also got Lash Out. So we got a little bit of a bit of double damage here. So we've got the double damage on the Lash Out and the speed boost on the Adrenaline Orb. It really gets very small amount of physical moves. I'll show you in a sec. We got Fake Out and U-Turn, which could be handy, so you can keep getting Fake Out and U-Turn damage over and over, and hoping for Toxic Chain to activate, so you got a 30% chance. And you've got Gunk Shot as well, which has a 30% chance to poison the target too, plus that. So, max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. And there you go. You got yourself a physical trash Munkidori if you want to run a physical one. I've already run this before, and it's pretty much terrible, but it was quite good at getting some toxics on there and some extra damage. No one really expected it when I used it. Now, another set you can run on this, I noticed it actually is quite a good baton pass user if that's a rule set you play. You could have this as a pure baton pass user with baton pass, nasty plot, calm mind. It gets both those moves and sub as well, so you could go ahead and pass some stats on to some other Pokemon. It's got reasonably enough speed, and its health is actually pretty good too, so you should be able to at least tank one hit that isn't super effective or juiced up opponent's Pokemon. But anyway, there's some movesets there. Let's look at some other options. I always like to go through every option for every single Pokemon. So let's have a look at its status moves first. So we've gone over Baton Pass. It also gets Calm Mind as well, but in my opinion, that's kind of outclassed by Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot is a lot more, you get a lot more special attack from that. Calm Mind just makes it bulky on the special side, which it already has bulk on that side anyway, so I see it as mostly useless. We've got Light Screen, we've got Protect, and you've also got Parting Shot too. I did actually talk about Parting Shot on the double set, so you could even put Parting Shot onto this set, which could be interesting. So you could have like Fake Out and Parting Shot. That could be kind of cool, like having that. So I don't know, like say you'd have to have something on your team to get rid of Steel types, but you could have something cool like that. So Fake Out, Parting Shot, Fake Out, that sort of thing. That actually could be pretty effective, especially when you've got your opponent down to like their last Pokemon and just keep dropping their stats of this and flinching them. That could be really, really annoying and helpful. Like that's quite unique as well, Fake Out and Parting Shot. That's quite a unique little combination there. But anyway, I digress. So there's that. We've got a Rest Sleep Talker. Amazing. Also, we've got a Speedy Taunter as well. That's quite nice. We also got Trick. We've gone over that with the Choice Specs, Choice Scarf sort of combinations there. It doesn't really get too much outside of that. Most of these moves in prison. Most of these moves are not going to be super great on it. They're more like gimmicks and stuff like that. It gets Psychic Terrain too if you want to set up Psychic Terrain if you really, really want to. And of course it gets Spite, which is a new move that's in the game too. Well, new move, new TM in the game. But yes, that's pretty much it for its status moves there. Let's go over its... Well, this is its physical moves. I wanted to show you how bad it was. So yeah. The only physical move I see it getting any use will be Fake Out, and that'll be doubles. Or U-turn. That's about it. Fake Out or U-turn. Apart from that, it's not going to do too much. I might be able to see some sets like this happen. Like, instead of Parting Shot, maybe U-turn. But, I don't know. I feel like on a special attacking set, Parting Shot's probably more useful. Like, especially for incoming Pokemon, the U-turn. But, whatever you want to do there. And of course it's special move. Let's have a look at this. So we got Clear Smog. I don't see this being that great a support style Pokemon. It's not really bulky enough. Focus Miss for steel type Pokemon isn't bad. Future Sight is sort of outclassed by Psychic and Psyshock and that sort of thing. It does get stored power. So you might be able to run something cool like... I don't know. You might be able to run something like this. I'm just trying to think like... Nasty Plot's probably going to outclass it anyway, but you might be able to have like a stored power calm mindset. Like, the thing is, by the time you get these boost up for stored power, you could already have done that with Nasty Plot and like a lot faster. But if you want to run a stored power set, it does actually get that. What else we got here? We got Shadow Ball, which is good for opposing ghost type Pokemon. It's quite good. And we've got Sludge Bomb too. There's not really any use to run that over Sludge Wave. It's got 5 more base power and stuff like that. But if you really want to try and stack... I'm not 100% sure about Toxic Chain because it just came out. So I'm not 100% sure whether this 30% stacks with Sludge Bomb. That's about the only thing I don't know at the moment because it virtually just came out. So obviously when I do more research on that, but I'm sort of not aware whether... Toxic Chain has a 30% chance normally, right? Does that stack with Sludge Bomb? I'm not 100% sure about that, but if it does, there might be some discrepancy in there what to use then, Sludge Bomb versus Sludge Wave. That could be something to be curious about there too, but I don't know about that just yet. It literally just came out. And then Terra Blast. I've already talked about what Terras I've used and stuff like that. And yeah, there's not too much. The only gimmicky, probably Venoshock. We've gone over Venoshock. What you could possibly do for that. Any other moves that could... well, it gets Grass Knot too, but I don't see where... I don't see Grass Knot actually be able to really do anything. Like, maybe for ground-type Pokemon, like... That's actually... It might be okay. Say if you do, like, Grass Knot here on, say, the... I don't know, say... I don't know if I'd go Grass. I mean, you could try Grass if you really, really wanted to. You could go, like, Terra Grass. That's another option, like Terra Grass Knot. Then again, I'd probably just do Terra Grass because it's, you know, Terra Grass, like, weight is too situational. So I'd just use Terra Blast and then Terra Blast Grass. That could be another option if, you know, any, like, ground-type Pokemon. And such like that, but I don't know if Grass would be the first one I would go for. Probably the other ones I discussed earlier could possibly be that. Let's have a look at some more options here. So, yeah, bring up those special moves. I've gone over Hex. Nightshade's not really that useful. It's not really... I'm going to try and make a tanky moveset now, see if I can. It's got good health. Its special defense isn't all that bad, so maybe Assault Vest? I don't know, like, Assault Vest might be an interesting item. I'm trying to think, like, say if you were running this nasty plot set, how about we get rid of Trick? We'll just, I'm just going to do it on the spec set for a second, just pretend this is, the spec set, Assault Vest set. So we got Assault Vest, and for special attacking moves, that could give it extra bulk there, I guess. That could work, and then pop on, like, Focus Blast. That could be an option, for sure. You could have also Terra Fighting or something like that. You know, to power up Focus Blast anymore, because that could be an option. Or just Terra Fighting, that could work too. So that's another way you could run it. I don't think it's really... I think there's better Pokemon that could, you know, be suited for that. I mean, if there's any other stuff left here, I can try and salvage. Substitute and Taunt. Well, I mean, maybe if you had it as a lead poke, I'm trying to think if Taunt could even be... It's kind of outclassed still, but there's other Pokemon that can do it. But this is probably just better off attacking than wasting a turn using Taunt. But maybe if you used it as, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, lead, anti-lead or something like. So we got, like, Taunt and, like, let's say, for example, we didn't have any other status moves. We just straight up went Sludge Wave, Psychic, and... Focus Blast. Something along those lines. Maybe, like, to stop a Stealth Rocker and then just attack. That could be another way of running it. But I feel like the other ways I mentioned are going to be better anyway. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video on Munkidori. I'm going to try and do all three of these tonight. So we'll be back with the other two later on. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, if you've got any other sets or ideas you'd like to run in yours, drop a below in the comment section, leave a like on the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.